Hi, everyone, and welcome to Signature West Podcast. I'm your host, Sam West from Palm Springs, California. Today, I have the founders of a group online called Gay Man Thriving, Andrew Sartori and Zach Bulls. Hi, guys.
Hi,
Hi,
Sam.
Sam.
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You guys are in Austin,
Correct.
Texas? Okay,
Yeah.
just want to clarify. So before we get into what is Gay Man Thriving, let's just back up a little bit. You guys met in 2016. How did you guys meet?
Andrew here. And so we initially met in 2016. We were actually volunteering for the Bernie Sanders presidential campaign in the primaries.
Okay. And what happened?
Yeah, so we both were doing nice, Andrew. Zach speaking. So yeah, we were both doing some volunteer work and didn't even know we each other were gay, but we felt an instant connection based on common interests and we formed a beautiful friendship right away. And over the next several months, it really blossomed into something remarkable.
And
Yeah.
you guys are now, Andrew, you're 31 and Zach, you're 38. So
Yeah.
at that time you were, I'm really bad at math.
About 27 and 35 or so.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
Yeah.
so the 27 one, you're young. You're 27 to me is young. 27 to most people is young. So you developed a friendship first that lasted for how long?
So Andrew here. So I was actually in a long-term, and I was a young one. I was 27. I was in a relationship for 2.5 years at the time, and we formed a friendship that had lasted 2 months, completely platonic. You know, we just talked about Game of Thrones, Bernie Sanders, but I started to realize more and more that I was feeling a lot more drawn to Zach, emotionally, energetically, even though he wasn't my quote unquote type at the time. And
Interesting.
and that's what eventually, fast forward to today, we're all about helping other men create energetic attraction in their lives. And we went to San Antonio for the convention, and that's where I just really fell head over heels. I realized how much happier I was around Zach than my partner at the time. And I went home, I moved out of our $1 million dream home and asked Zach to come to dinner with me. And
We started dating about a week later.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
So 2016, you're starting like most people, you're dating, you're falling in love, you're liking each other, you're doing this, you're doing that. And then 2 years later, you have this idea, both of you or one of you, to take on this project called Gay Man Thriving. Whose idea was it?
I'd say it was mine originally. I was just transitioning careers and Zach speaking, and from actually just working in retail to becoming a coach, and found that working with gay men was something that really lit me up and excited me, and that the foundation of my relationship with Andrew was so strong and so unique, and it was something that a lot of gay men unfortunately were not experiencing, and so we recognized right away this is something we have to do full time as our primary career to help other men experience the type of love that we feel.
Right. So I'm gonna ask a very harsh question because I'm older than you guys are. I'm 58, and I've been in the gay culture since 1982. So I've been in the gay world in the 80s, and the 90s, 2000, 10, 20, all of it.
Okay.
And I yet to see, it's very rare, to be honest, that somebody in their 20s or even in their early 30s want to take on such a challenge or a topic like relationships.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So Andrew here. So I've always been an old soul. Like my mom actually jokes and says, I feel like you're older than I am. Just my path. And so I have an interesting history. I've had major chronic health issues, anxiety, depression, PTSD, the worst IBS anyone could imagine, debilitating back pain, joint pain. So I actually had built a health coaching practice I was able to overcome these things, holistically after conventional medicine didn't help me.
Right.
So I was working with a lot of patient clients, in their 40s, 50s, 60s who, had issues. And I was very interested in also the spiritual growth, attraction, creating our own reality. And I noticed when working with these clients, the things that brought me the most passion was helping them in their relationships. And I also noticed relationships many times was what was causing them the stress that was causing them to sabotage their health.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've just always loved relationships. I think I was always a hopeless romantic too. And then, so with Zach, like we knew we wanted to, so I was already a coach and into transformations, and Zach, we were going to we knew we wanted to start working with gay men, but at first we're like, well, what will we help them with? That we could help them with their health and things. But I remember just sitting one night on the couch. It was like a Wednesday evening, feeling like we were in heaven together just because the love was so strong, and it felt like we had no worries in the world being that present. And
Is that still the case, by the way?
Yeah, I would say so. We've
So
grown.
there's still no worries in the world as far as you see it, relationship-wise, between the two of you.
so I would say it's not like every single day. There's ups and downs, and this
Sure.
is what we've learned in all relationships. Like we've had our rough patches where sometimes it's really hard, and
Right.
we've gone through crazy. I don't know if we could say shit, but
Yeah, you
like
can.
3-4 months after Zach moved in, I started getting mold sickness, and it was just like we've been through crazy stuff. And so Zach thought I was crazy, right? We've been through crazy stuff together, and building a business that brings so much stress. I mean, starting Gay Man Thriving was an incredibly stressful project. So yeah, our relationship has been tested and challenged, but ultimately, yeah, we connect every single morning. We do our spiritual practice. And
One thing we've
I,
learned from every time we have any type of conflict or speed bumps along the way, we've got such a great level of communication with one another. We're able to come out stronger than before every single time. And I think that's something that definitely makes our relationship unique and special, and what we help other gay men have.
I guess what I'm trying to find out is most people that open something or want to create something, or even politics, they have some sort of history or a little bit of something to say, I've done this and this and this. You guys have just met, or maybe 2 years been in a relationship. And yes, granted, it's great. Were you afraid or were you concerned someone to say, well, who are you? Like, what makes you such an expert in that field to come and tell me, Sam West, we're going to help you with, with relationships? Was that ever a concern?
Oh, yes, Zach, it was a huge concern for me. I have a major history. Indra and I have very different backgrounds. I came from someone just in and out of jail, rehab, major addiction problems and legal struggles, who really pretty much sabotaged my 20s and early 30s. And I remember getting into this work thinking, who the hell is going to listen to me?
Yep.
Who is someone who's, quote unquote, just fucked up their life so much, who's
Right.
going to want a life coach that, has gone through all that. But it really actually, those things have become one of my greatest strengths in that it's taught me such depth of knowing that no matter where anyone's at, you can overcome those blocks, those obstacles. And our minds are so powerful. With the right mindset, the right attitude and perspective, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. And actually realized right away that I was more relatable based on my sordid past. But it's been quite a journey.
So when
right.
you first started, obviously it's like when I started the podcast, it was kind of like one foot in front of the other. So when you first started in 1918, it was one foot in front of the other. What was your expectation of what Gay Men Thriving needs to look like? Or what was your um, wish list beside helping gay people, obviously?
I think at the deepest level, our vision is to create a world where it's just fucking awesome to be a gay man, where instead of the divisive, superficial stigma that gay men have, really creating a community of healing, of nurturing, of brotherhood, of love. And I feel like at the deepest level, we knew that's what was going to encompass our mission. And
Funny that you bring that up. Do you think you have the advantages because you guys are so young and in an era that, I mean, I don't know how aware you are of the 80s and the 90s and even the 20s of the gay
Yeah.
culture, even the 70s. And I call it pretty much fucked up. It's a fucked up culture in so many ways. And by default, we have this malfunction system because most of us didn't have the best environment growing up. Most of us didn't exactly have the perfect home growing up. It's just, that's how we're raised. That's how we are. So automatically we're at a disadvantage. And there comes Zach and Andrew, and we're gonna fix this.
Yeah.
You think, is it because you did not experience, or I want to say not aware, but maybe you are aware?
Yes.
Yeah.
Andrew here. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, because what our environments determine our belief systems, and we didn't live through, the AIDS pandemic. We we weren't traumatized to that extent, and so we're growing up, our generation's growing up in a way where we do feel like it's easier, there is more possibilities, and so we're able to look at, other men who might be holding themselves back because of experiences they had that we didn't. But it all comes down to, like, we can create our own reality. Whatever we believe we can achieve, we can. And so that's what it all came down to, is helping men change their belief systems about themselves, about other gay men. And when you can do that and help people feel incredible in the process, then lifelong transformation and results are guaranteed.
But did you have the challenge of not living through the AIDS crisis, or not even living through the AIDS culture in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, that you're not even not knowing what was that like to know the disadvantage that the culture has? So to me, in order for someone to cure or assist in something, I need to know what's wrong with the system, kind of a thing. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah.
if you were not aware, and you couldn't help it, it's not like you chose not to
So
be aware. You just weren't
I'll
around then.
So let me give you an example. So one of our clients, Ronnie Lieberman, he was at the Stonewall riots. He came out like the week after those Stonewall riots inspired him to come out. So he's experienced so many things. He's lost so many friends to AIDS in his lifetime. He's currently 75, and like, we don't have to experience the trauma to be able to help people through it, right? And so
Right.
we gave him the tools to show up differently, to feel better about himself, to do the work. And now he's happier than he's ever been in his entire life. He had a relationship that was more positive and happy than any of the other ones he's been in.
After about a decade of not dating.
So
Right.
walk us through. I'm sorry, his name was
Oh, Ron
Ron.
Lieberman.
Walk me through Ron, 74 years old, which I believe it's a tough age to be single and gay in these
Yeah.
days. It's just tough. I don't care how you slice it. So he comes to you guys, and so what tools did you give him? Because he's been
So
around the block, he's educated to a
yeah,
degree, he knows the culture inside out. Like you said, he witnessed the A's into the Z's, and
Yeah.
now he's got grandchildren. Let's call you guys his grandchildren, and Zach, and you're gonna give him the tools for grandpa to do better with in his gay world.
Yeah.
What?
So when Ron, yeah, Zach here. When Ron came to us, yeah, he was experiencing just such self-sabotaging behavior. Just the fear of that, number on that his age was going to block him from, being able to meet someone and have that beautiful connection, which a lot of men later in life do start to believe. And we really helped him identify his personal power that he was giving away to those fears, the fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of, what other people think. That worrying what other people think is something that plagues the gay community tremendously, and all people for that matter, but really helped him to build courage, to believe in himself, to put himself out there.
But
And
he's 74 years old. It must be embedded in him. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
The
it
older we
was.
get, the more tattooed it becomes.
Yeah, it's definitely not a snap your fingers overnight quick fix, but we've laid out a step-by-step process that really helps identify and release all of those deeply seated fears, those
Can you
deep.
give us the short version of the step by step, the very short version, if you can?
Yeah, so it's our energetic attraction system. So the fears, the doubts, we call those negative energy blocks. Those prevent you from being more open, being relaxed, letting your guard down, things that need to happen to make great relationships. And so we systematically help them decrease these fears, these energy blocks. And then we systematically help them increase their self-worth, their self-confidence. We help them get really clear on the gold that they do have to offer, because we believe everyone is, when you're being yourself, everyone deserves love. There are many possible matches out there for everyone. So it's believing in that, believing you have so much to offer and you don't need to settle. And then when you've made that internal transformation, it's helping the guys make great connections with other men. And it's like when you make that internal transformation, and yes, you're right, it does get tattooed. And like we've had guys say, we've made more progress in 3 months with your system than in 10 years of therapy, because it's so specific and solution oriented.
So so this, here's the key. So someone tells you that great testimonial. Okay. Um, what would you say that's credit to? How did you create the system? And the system became so successful based on what?
Based on people implementing the system, first of all.
Yeah, we've had hundreds of men go through our energetic attraction system, and every single one that has shown up on the calls and done the work has noticed a rapid transformation in their personal life, in all of their relationships. And I think it's a combination of our personal experiences with our in-depth trainings and certifications. We both have extensive backgrounds in various methodologies of trainings and things. And yeah, it's just, I think our passion for helping serve gay men is what makes us ultimately as successful as we are.
Right.
Something that, other than our marriage and our relationship, there's nothing on earth Andrew and I are more passionate about than helping gay men get out of their own way, lovingly get out of their own way, so they can start living their lives fully. Because
go ahead.
when you're living, your life behind those fears, I mean, you're staying in that comfort zone. And unfortunately, so many gay men stay stuck there their whole lives. In fact,
not only so many gay men, you also have, because I was part of your group for a while to watch, because I want to educate myself. You have so many age brackets.
Yes.
I think you might have in the 20s and maybe have in the 30s, and then you have Ron in the 70s. And let's be honest, the 20s only experience so much in quote unquote relationships. They might not even know what that even looks or feels like. You've got the Ron of the world. So you've got so many aspects of that same issue. It's almost, so you have to dance with each one individually, I suppose. So
so it's really interesting, and that's Andrew here. So we've had, I think our youngest person to go through energetic attraction is 24, and so it's so awesome. 23. So it's so awesome to see men from all ages connect with each other. But what ultimately, deep down, what we're doing is like we're working with the universal laws. Like I've studied metaphysics, quantum physics, energy a lot, and Zacs a core energy coach, and it's, no matter, age is really irrelevant. When you are shifting your energy, when you're aligning your energy, when you're feeling better each and every single day, it's going to have ripple effects into other areas of your life, and you're going to be 100 times, math is irrelevant, 100, 1,000 times more likely to attract your goals, create your goals, when your energy is aligned with it and when your belief system is aligned with it.
So you don't see a challenge for the 70-year-old and his belief system. For 70 years, he can't help it. It's just 70 years of belief system versus a 24-year-old belief system. There's not a challenge for you guys to bring those two down to earth.
I mean, everyone has their own belief system and is on their own journey. So, I mean, everyone's, journey is unique to them, but there are, very common struggles that gay men experience. And it really all boils down to challenging those belief systems. And it's like, we're so good at creating our own bullshit and even better at believing our own bullshit. And we live by those rules that we create for ourselves. But we have several men in their 70s, mid, early, and to late 70s, who are experiencing love like they've never experienced before. They had the story that it's too late for me, I'm too old, why bother? But after helping them build their courage, build their confidence, and learn how to really make those deep connections, they're living their lives more fully than ever before, experiencing more passionate romance than ever before. And it's such a beautiful thing for these men who felt like their lives, their social lives were practically over, to experience the complete opposite. Of course, there's always going to be challenges.
Of course.
Like I said, we're great at believing our belief systems, but when we realize that those are just things that we've constructed in our own minds based on our lifetime of experiences, it takes some work to rewire their brains, but it's something that we have mastered and specialize in. And I think the proof is in the pudding with all of the men who are now in relationships. We just celebrated one of our clients who was in his late 50s, early 60s, who just got married. He was pretty much ready to give up on relationships, tired of feeling ghosted, tired of feeling, like the dating apps weren't going anywhere. But quickly we helped him kind of recollaborate and, change his approach. I mean, this is a neurosurgeon, very successful man.
Wow.
Couldn't find success in dating. But just after a few short months of really implementing our step-by-step process, he started doing things differently on the dating apps, met an amazing guy. Here comes COVID, they move in together. And 2 weeks ago, they just tied the knot and they're planning retirement and bliss.
So do you think there's a danger element for you guys to give an advice that someone might take it literal, for example, and then is there a liability thing going on? If you tell me to jump, I'm going to say how high, and then I'm not going to like the jump because I'm going to fall and really break my heart. I'm going to say, Andrew, Zach, you told me to jump.
One thing that Zach here, that we really make sure that everyone understands is learning how to not take things personally and how to manage their expectations. Like, we are very good at not promising, you sign up with us in 4 months, you will have a boyfriend. We can't, obviously we can never make those types of promises.
Right.
And when we give advice, we make sure that they feel empowered, to still make their own decisions. And we juggle between our coaching hat, which is basically only asking empowering questions, helping them come up with their own solutions, but then also shifting to a mentorship where, as men who have gone through a lot of what these men, especially coming out later in life, are experiencing for the first time, really give them, tips from anything from very graphic sexual, advice to, mindset and personality attitude type of stuff. But I feel like helping them manage their expectations, to not have attachments and to be in a mindset of openness and possibility, it's like they can't be disappointed or upset because they're allowing themselves to be authentic and in the moment instead of looking at dates as a husband interview.
So in closing, walk us through the process. I want to sign up with you guys because I want to find the one or be happy with the one. Obviously, this is a business for you guys. So what is required for me how do I sign up? Like, what's required for me and how do I get a hold of you guys, and what's the process like? How long is it? All the gadgets that I need to do.
Yeah, we have different levels of support because we want to be able to help all gay men, and we realize, different men need different levels of support, but
so this is mainly how it works. So at energeticattraction.com, that's our main program. That's what we're mainly known for. There's a 22-minute video that really explains the process more thoroughly. But ultimately what it is like, you get to go through our 4-month curriculum. And again, like Zach said, we have a year-long program too.
And at energeticattraction.com, you apply for a session with Andrew and myself. And if it feels like it makes sense to have that longer conversation, we talk about what's possible. Really.
And is that a free thing, or is a fee for that?
Yeah, it's a free session where we really help, plan the path forward, help them understand where they're at and where they want to be and how we
And then
can.
what's next after that? If I say, yes, I like it, what, sign me up.
Yeah. Then we go through, Zach here, the new student and I go through a very in-depth energetic assessment and
Right.
debrief session where we really talk about how they're showing up energetically, how energy is working for them or against them, and really planning a solid roadmap of how to kind of do like what we said before, really help them release the power that they're giving away to those fears through weekly coaching calls, through.
But so how many, it's okay. So I want to sign up. What's the fee? How many calls are required? How much time do I need to show up for? What's my accountability time wise, et cetera, et cetera?
Great question.
Right. So there's a lot of different payment plan options, and sometimes the fees change as we grow and evolve. And as far as the calls go, so we give you more than you need to succeed.
We're big on over delivering.
Yeah. So you get so each week you get a module released, which is videos and written assignments and processes. And it's like when you go through these, you make that transformation.
Really rewire your brain.
And right now we host 4 different calls a week that you have access to. So
we're really holding your hand through the whole process.
Right.
Because work is so hard to do on your own. That's why so many people stay stuck in their comfort zone.
Right.
You reach a few speed bumps and then you're like, oh, I tried. But in this container, in this vortex, as we like to call it, we're really able to, help them check their blind spots, give them that loving encouragement and support. And they're also doing this work alongside dozens of other men who are reaching similar goals, who are overcoming similar blocks. And so it's like, we're all doing this side by side, all supporting and encouraging.
It's a group effort kind of a thing.
It's a group effort. It's like a family. It's like a brotherhood. And these are relationships that are lifelong relationships. In fact, several men have met their dream partner within the student body. And it's a 4-month process, really giving you all the support you could need, the roadmap and the exact things to do. So you don't have to be playing that guessing game, trying to figure this shit out, because
right.
This is what takes gay men decades or lifetime.
It's a lot of shit to figure out. Let me tell you.
A lot of shit to figure out. And I mean, and we've got our inner critic every step of the way screaming, don't do that, give up, mayday, mayday. Right. They're all going to laugh at you. So we help give them that empowerment so that, by the end of the process, they don't need our guidance and support anymore. They're right. Empowered men living their lives fully, but a part of this family forever.
So the best way to find you is through the website?
Yes. energeticattraction.com is our flagship course. And
but your website, your Facebook group, it does just like a fan group thing, the one that's the
Gay Man Thriving. Yeah. We have a Facebook group called Gay Man Thriving Group, and yeah, it's pretty incredible just as a space for gay men to
get really together.
To get together, yeah. And then we have the coaching, the Gay Man Thriving Academy for men who really want to take things to the next level in their personal life.
Wow.
Right. And
I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And let me tell you, I don't get impressed with young people often because, with the older we get, the more jaded we are, because obviously I've seen a lot more and experienced a lot more and I witnessed a lot more.
Yeah.
So, when I first heard, I think when you guys told me your age, I was like, what? So hats off to you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys can make a huge difference in the gay world, especially in this day and age. On one hand, I see it as a slippery slope, but then on one hand, I see it as, can really grow and flourish and thrive just by having the right tools and the right people to connect to, especially the young ones, the 24-year-old and teens.
Yeah. Well, Sam, thank you so much for having us today. It's been a joy connecting with you, and have us back anytime. We love talking about this.
My pleasure. Thank you everybody for listening. If you want to reach out to Zach and Andrew, you know how to do so. I am Sam West with Signature West Podcast. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.